Happy New Year! We're so glad that you're joining us and giving us 20 minutes of your time. Today we're at the Horse Stamp Inn off Exit 22. We've been so fortunate to do a number of things here with our staff, elders, and ministry leaders, and we love their hospitality. Next week we'll be back to our normal meeting times at 8:30, 10, and 11:30. We're kicking off a new series as we look at what it takes to be for Jesus, for each other, and for Camden in 2025. If you're ready to get connected in the new year, Connection Group registration opens on January 5th. If you're prepared to partner with us in generosity or looking to make a year-end gift, you can do so through the QR code on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoy the service.
Oh, I searched the world, it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Oh, then you came along and you put me back together.
Last summer, 2023, my wife Chris left town for a couple of weeks and went to visit her parents in Oklahoma. And when she left behind a to-do list. Now, this is not your typical like a honey-do list that would include things like change air filters and add salt to the water softener and pull weeds. The to-do list that she left behind had 3 really unconventional items on it, and it was clear I should have them done when she returned home. So number 1 was to talk to someone in our pastors group. Some of you know we've been part of a larger group of people who pastor churches like ours in size and style, and it's been a super helpful network for the last few years. And I don't remember what she was thinking about, but I should contact someone in the group about something I was thinking about and working through here. Well, number 2 was to go on a retreat. And I've done this periodically, alone, just to get away, pray, disconnect, think. And she saw that maybe it was time for me to do something like that. Like, you need to make a plan to go away. And number 3 was to set up a personal counseling appointment. And again, I don't remember exactly what she had in mind, but it doesn't really matter because sometimes the wife just knows best. And so these were my assignments. And to be honest with you, it sounded like a whole lot of work to me. But I remembered a presentation that someone had made in one of our large group pastor gatherings about some smaller groups called Covenant Connections. Now, a Covenant Connection group is 4 or 5 guys who have to commit to staying together for 3 years. You do 2 retreats a year, and then you get on a Zoom call once a month. And the primary reason is not for practical or pragmatic reasons. It's intended to be reflection and introspection and accountability and what we might actually call soul care. And from what I could remember, a group like this just might actually satisfy all 3 assignments with one single phone call. And so last summer, I joined this group with 4 other guys. Chad, who's up in Virginia, just outside of DC, Kyle, who's down in Houston, Tony, way out in Oregon, and Rick, our facilitator, in Indianapolis. So this October, we held our 3rd retreat, and twice now I've been able to host because, listen, Southeast Georgia is easily the best option of all of those in February and October. And yes, we do fun things and eat at great places and we hang out, but we also read together, we pray together, and we follow a practice or really a framework every time that we get together, whether that's on a Zoom call or sitting together on a back porch. Matter of fact, we sat right here earlier this year around this fire pit behind me every single night. And the very simple structure that guides our conversation is built around simply the 4 Ds. They are the delights, the drains, the discoveries, and the determinations. So 1, what are my delights? Where am I currently finding joy in my life? 2 is, what are my drains? What things or maybe people are depleting me? Is there something that's just weighing on me and sucking the life out of me? The 3rd is, what are my discoveries? What am I learning right now? Or is there something that I'm learning again? Is there anything right now that is enlightening to me? And then we finish with, what are my determinations? Is there somewhere I'm finding a breath of fresh air and feeling inspired that if I commit to it, or as we would say around Christ Church, is there a next step I can take that will lead me towards something better, or maybe even back towards more delights? And everyone gets as much time as they need to share these things. Now, reminder, this is a group focused on who we are and who we're becoming over what we do, right? It's soul care. It means we're listening to the voice of God and we're processing things with people we trust. We're hearing God speak through other people with the intention of becoming a better version of ourselves so that we can be the person God intends for us to be. And someone always writes it down in a shared note so we can pull it out and, maybe torture ourselves with either what we're not doing or hopefully use it as accountability with each other. And guess what? I still end up talking to other guys in the larger pastors group about things we're dealing with and decisions we're making. And I've made several counseling appointments, but the step into this smaller group that's focused on soul care and connecting to Jesus has just been invaluable. Much of what we do together fits so perfectly with the teaching series we did earlier this summer that we called Be the Branch. I want to take us back to June just for a minute, where we spent the entire month hanging out in John chapter 15, where Jesus said, I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. Right? Every branch in me that does not produce fruit, he removes, and he prunes every branch that produces fruit so that it will produce more fruit. He says, you're already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. In other words, there's something cleansing and purifying in the teachings of Jesus. He goes on to say, remain in me and I in you. Just as a branch is unable to produce fruit by itself unless it remains on the vine, neither can you unless you remain in me. And it was just a very simple way of talking through the connection we should have with Jesus, that the life of the branch depends on its connection to the vine. And when it's disconnected, it dies. And the fruit grows as the branch stays connected to the vine. Right? Jesus saying, I'm the vine, you're the branches. The one who remains in me and I in him produces much fruit because you can do nothing without me. Right? We understand Jesus is the vine and God is the gardener and we are the branches. And when it comes to following Jesus and pursuing the life that he has for us, we really have one job, and it is to be that branch. In other words, the most important thing for the branch is to stay connected to the tree, to have a constant dependence on and a connection to Jesus. The bulk of the work is done by the gardener through the vine. The branch really doesn't do much at all, right? Our job is connection, and God's job is production. And being connected always leads to fruitfulness, and without connection, fruit doesn't grow. You may remember, if you were with us then, that John stresses this repeatedly with one word, the word remain or abide. He uses it 11 times in just 11 verses. It means that you're present with or you're being connected to a person or a place for a long period of time. I'm going to make my home here, or I'm planting myself here. I'm going to stay, I'm going to hang out, I'm going to abide, I'm going to remain. And I simply just want to ask you to abide for a bit. Right? Maybe during this last song to go ahead and grab a pen and some paper or open a note on your phone and maybe to start brainstorming what comes to mind around these 4 Ds I've presented. You might do it right now, maybe plan a time later or pick out some space on another day. But I just want to ask you to use it as a framework for thinking about this past year and the one that is in front of you. Again, a means of connection and to reflect on where you are and where you see God leading you. So you just start with, what are my delights? I know when I most recently did this with the guys in October, it was not really things or events, but it was people. I'm finding joy with people and things that make me laugh and give me insightful perspective. And then, of course, there's a new grand girl coming our way in April 2025. Then you ask, well, what are my drains? You know, the afternoon I came back from the retreat we held here in February, it's literally been one drain after another. Church challenges and health struggles in our family, and just doesn't feel like I can get on top of things. But naming the drains is what will lead many of us to make discoveries. So what am I discovering? Well, as a church, I'm discovering that we have a voice of influence in our community and we need to use it. Personally, I'm discovering that my connection with Jesus is a greater investment than my production for Jesus. And now we commit, right? We end with, what are my determinations? Well, I have 3, and they're a work in progress. One is to be present with whoever and in whatever I'm doing, to give my best with what is best at this time. And then third, to pray the day. In other words, I start my day by looking at what's planned and where I'm going and who I'm with, and I'm praying for myself and for them and for the meetings, the work, and whatever else God might want to do. So I think that if you give it a little bit of time, some thought, and you're praying through it, right? Connect with Jesus, that it can be a very helpful framework for you as you look back on this year and ahead to what God has for you and the person He might be calling you to be.
I Christ is my firm foundation. He's the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking. And I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. And I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. So I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength, 'cause I built my life on Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through every season. So why would he fail now? He won't. He won't. He won't fail. He won't fail. And rain came, wind blew, my house was built on you. And I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Came, blew, my house was built on you. I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Came, blew, my house was built on you. I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it through. 'Cause I'm standing strong on you. I'm gonna make it through. 'Cause my house is built on you. Christ is my firm foundation. He's the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking. And I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus. 'Cause he's never let me down. He's faithful in every season. So why would he fail?